Hi everyone, Mega Shorts here, bringing you another Hasbro Captain America the Winter Soldier action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Air Raid Red Skull figure, which is actually from Captain America the First Avenger. I got this figure from my local John Lewis store a couple of weeks ago for £9.99. It's my first Red Skull figure as well, so I'm really happy to have this as part of my Marvel Cinematic Universe action figure collection. Like many other figures in this wave, well, all the other figures in this wave, this one does come with a rather large missile launching accessory, and we'll take a closer look at that later on in the video. But first of all, we're going to take a quick look at the packaging he came with. Now, the packaging for this figure of Red Skull is very similar to the packaging of all the other figures in this wave. At the top of the front, we can see a nice picture of Chris Evans in his new Captain America suit for the film, and also the logo for the new film. And then below that we can see the figure and its accessories in a clear plastic bubble, and the card at the bottom showing the name of the figure. Then on the side we can see a bit of information about how to put the accessory this figure comes with onto the Captain America helmet roleplay toy. And then on the back we can see another picture of the figure, well, two more pictures of the figure, and then below that you've got the same usual product and company information. That's it for the packaging, not much to say about it really, but I do quite like it. And now we're going to take a look at the Air Raid Red Skull. Okay, so here we have the Air Raid Red Skull figure. Now this isn't the first figure of Red Skull we've seen from Captain America the First Avenger, but it is a completely new figure and it doesn't reuse any parts from the original Captain America the First Avenger Red Skull figures, as far as I'm aware. Now, one major difference between this figure and the other figures of Red Skull from the first movie is the costume. Unlike the other Red Skull figures from the film, this one features his long black coat, which I'm really happy to see on this figure. I've always wanted to see a figure of him in this scale wearing the long black coat, which he did wear throughout most of his time in the first movie, but Hasbro never actually gave us a figure of him wearing this coat back when they gave us the Captain America the First Avenger figure line back in 2011. Now, one of my favourite things about this figure is the head sculpt. I think Hasbro have done an excellent job with this. I think it has a great likeness to Hugo Weaving in his Red Skull makeup from the first film. Definitely looks a lot more like him than the previous Captain America the First Avenger Red Skull figures. It has got some really nice detail on it, like the bone structure, which we can see on the front and on the sides just near his ears. And there's also lots of creases on the skin which help to make him look as if he's frowning. And there's even a little crack on the top of his skull, just around here. The paintwork on this head sculpt is pretty nice as well. The eyes look like they've been really carefully painted and the mouth has turned out pretty well as well. It has just been painted with one shade of red in most places. It's not really got a lot of variety of red on it, but that's just fine. I think it looks just fine the way it is. So yeah, excellent head sculpt. Thumbs up to Hasbro with this one. The costume is another great part of the figure for detail and paintwork. On his belt we can see a small silver version of the Hydra symbol, and around that we can see lots of silver buttons which have been painted really nicely. There's also lots of creases all over the costume, making it look very lifelike and often used. We can also see a couple of Hydra symbols on his arms. There's one just below each shoulder, and both of these have been painted with quite a light shade of red. The trousers are also pretty nice. They've not got a great deal of detail on them, but they have got lots more creases, just like the boots down here. His boots have been painted with the same type of black paint as the trousers, and while these haven't got a great deal of detail like the trousers, Hasbro have still gone out of their way to make them look as accurate as possible, and we can see that they have got these nice tiny little black belts or buckles on them. So for detail, paintwork and sculpting, the Air Raid Red Skull is a great figure. In my opinion, this is by far the best movie Red Skull figure we have seen from Hasbro so far. It's got a fantastic sculpt with some excellent detail and fantastic paintwork. It's just a brilliant figure. If you missed out on the original First Avenger Red Skull figures, I'd highly recommend this one to you. Or if you were disappointed by the original Red Skull figures from the first film, I'd also recommend this one to you. It's just a great figure to have in the collection. Okay, that's it for the detail, paintwork and sculpting for now. Now, one thing I forgot to mention about this figure earlier is that his hands are very good for holding accessories. His right hand does have a trigger finger, so it's quite good for holding small guns, and his left hand is pretty much perfect for holding the Tesseract. But unfortunately, unlike the original Captain America the First Avenger Red Skull figures, the Air Raid Red Skull does not come with either of those accessories, which I think is a bit of a shame because I haven't actually got a Tesseract accessory to go with my Marvel Cinematic Universe figures at the moment, and if this figure did come with them, you'd probably be able to do a lot more scene recreations of the first movie with this figure. His head is on a ball joint, so it can move up and down, and it can also do a 360-degree turn as well. His arms are also on ball joints, so they can move inwards and outwards on the shoulders, and they can also do a 360-degree turn. The arms do have biceps joints, so they can turn from there, and they can also bend up and down at the elbows. Sadly, he doesn't have any wrist articulation, which is a bit annoying, but he does pretty much have all the usual bits of leg articulation. He can move his legs backwards and forwards from the top. They can also go outwards, but not really far because of the coat. They can also swivel at the thighs, and they can also swivel at the knees, and they can bend from there as well. So the articulation on this figure is okay. It's not too bad, but it's not as good as it could have been, in my opinion. I really would have liked to have seen some wrist joints on this figure, and if this figure had wrist joints, it would have been pretty much perfect. That's it for the articulation, and now I'm going to give you a summary of my thoughts on this figure. And overall, I think the Air Raid Red Skull figure is a great addition to my Marvel Cinematic Universe action figure collection. I highly recommend this figure to anyone that missed out on the original Red Skull figures from the first film, or anyone that didn't really like them much. This is such a good figure. I'm really happy with it. I love the detail it has, I love the sculpt, and I'm really pleased with the paintwork. But I do think it could have been better if it came with the Tesseract and a small gun that he used in the film, and I would have also liked it a bit more if it came with a couple of wrist swivel joints so that we could get him into some more poses with his hands. But it's still a great figure, and out of 10 I give it a 9 out of 10. Okay, that's it for the Red Skull figure, but this review is not over yet, because now we're going to take a look at his Air Raid missile launching thingy. Okay, so here we have Red Skull's Air Raid missile launcher accessory. I'm actually pretty happy with this. I know I said in my previous Captain America the Winter Soldier figure review that I'm not usually a big fan of these accessories, but I really like this one. I think it's quite imaginative, and it's very different to the other missile launchers we've seen with Marvel Cinematic Universe figures in the past. It has got some really nice detail and quite decent paintwork, and it has got this big peg on it, so it does fit into Red Skull's back like so. Now, it may seem like the figure is able to stand with it, but it actually isn't. I tried to stand him up with this earlier, but he just fell over backwards. So yeah, if you are planning on having him standing up with this on his back, make sure you get a display stand for this figure, or you give him something to lean back on, just in case he goes to fall over. Yeah, pretty nice accessory. The only difference between this one and the one on the packaging is that this bit here, which goes up and down, hasn't actually got any silver on it. Would have been nice if they did still include that for the actual one, but I still really like it. I think it's a great accessory, even though he didn't use anything like this in the first film. As you can see, the missile it comes with is made to look like a small plane or drone, and it just launches off like so if you press this button. So yeah, pretty nice accessory. I do quite like it a lot, and if I was to give it a rating out of 5, I'd quite happily give it a 5 out of 5. Really nice imaginative accessory, and great for young fans of the film. And that is pretty much it for my review of the Captain America the Winter Soldier Air Raid Red Skull figure. Hope you've all enjoyed watching this review. If you want to share your thoughts on this figure, feel free to do so in the comment section below or in a video response. My next Captain America the Winter Soldier figure review will be of the Winter Soldier himself. Thanks for watching this review, guys.